Reading from Śrī Bhagavat Sandarbha, Amchad number 3. Śrī Jīva is giving definition of the word Bhagavan, and he cited verses from Vishnu Purana, giving the meaning of each letter Bhagava and then the combined Bhagava. So he explained that, and he gave first the explanation of the first part, which refers to Brahman. Now he gives an alternative explanation. Yes. Can give the mic to him.
I just had this question that was in my head for a while, and so I thought maybe I ask now before the end of the class. So I just wanted to understand how did Vyasa write, because Vyasa wrote all the Puranas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I understanding correct here? So I just wanted to know, how did he write before he wrote Bhagavatam? That was his last work. How did he wrote all these other Puranas? From which state did he write them chronologically, or how did it happen? Was he in different states when he was writing all these different Puranas? Like, if you know.
How did he write?
Yeah.
So how did he write has different meanings. Means he uses a pen to write.
Because all these Puranas, they're classified as tamasic, rajasic, sattvic. So what did he start writing first, and how did he decide, okay, I'm not happy with all this, I need to write something else?
Yeah, so this is, you yourself are answering your question. First he wrote, because his purpose of writing was not that he has a fancy to write, he wanted to educate humanity.
Okay.
And educating humanity means to wean away people from material sense pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is the natural inclination. Everybody is inclined to enjoy materially, to protect yourself. Ahar nidra bhai maithunam cha samanam etat pasubhir naranam. Food, sleep, sex and protection, this is natural. So everybody is doing this, animals do, human beings also do. So he wanted to bring the consciousness above that. But because everybody has different state of mind, so he has to uplift them from where they are. You have to start your journey from the place where you are standing. So he divided all the group of people into three. Some are standing at tamas, some are standing at rajas, and some are standing at sattva. So then he wrote books for them that you guys read this, and you read this, and you read this.
Okay. So
But when he has to do that, obviously if he is going to speak to tamasic people about Krishna, and he is having these affair with gopis, then tamasic people, what are they going to think? Well, he is doing what we are doing. So he did not reveal this to them. Or even if he spoke about Krishna, he spoke in terms which they could understand. So then the need arose that what about people who actually want to go beyond and understand the truth as it is, not seeing it from the perspective of where they are standing. So then he wrote Bhagavatam. So that's what Jiva Goswami is presenting, the subject matter of Bhagavatam here.
Okay, so he contains within himself everything, basically.
Who?
Vyasa.
Yeah, he is an avatar of God, so he knows everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question before we begin? Yes. So today, everybody seems to have changed places today.
So, short question. In the on the class before the last class, I understood that Paramātmā is Bhagavān when in contact with material nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that is also a description of Shiva, that he is Vishnu in contact with material nature? So
yeah, so when we say contact, it's not contact only, because Paramatma is never in contact. So that statement itself is wrong. He is not in contact, but he is the regulator.
Okay.
And he regulates without coming in contact. So he regulates from a distance, remote control. And Shiva actually is within it. So that is the difference. Because remote also does not work all the time. So then you need, because ultimately how does remote work? It also has to come and contact that. Okay, you are not contacting, but there is something which have to be moved there. Right? So therefore, Vishnu is having the remote control and Shiva is actually doing it inside the matter. So he is moving Shiva and then Shiva is doing it. So remote control is moving something physically, and that physical thing is further making changes inside. So it's a different levels how the absolute reality, which is beyond matter, comes and controls this matter. Because this is a very difficult point to understand. Because on one side we say that absolute reality is completely transcendental to matter, right? That it is beyond matter and nothing matter can ever contact it. At the same time, he is controlling it. It is within him only. So this is contradictory, right? So then you have to find some in-between link. So Shiva is that in-between link. That on one side he is connected to the Supreme, on the other side he is connected to the matter. So through him, Paramātmā or Vishnu is controlling the energy. So he is the controller, yet he is not in contact. And Shiva is there, who is another level of Vishnu, you can say. But he is in contact. His one side is in contact, other side is not. And then we have the Jivas who are completely inside. Actually, their Jivas also don't come in contact, but they become overpowered by it. Okay? Anything else? So he continues to explain the meaning of these verses. So here in the verses it says Arupam Panipadyadya Sanyutam. So he is commenting on that now. And this is Vibhum Sarogatam. Where is Arupam? Yes, so this is the verse number 5. If you see on page 17, those who have the book, right at the bottom. Anirdeshyam arupam cha pani padadya sanyutam. So this is the part which he is commenting on now. So he says arupam. So one meaning of arupam, the straightforward meaning is that rupam means form and arupam means no form. Okay? So arupa means formless. So then it applies to Brahman, because Brahman is formless. But in Sanskrit, the word, this arupam is a naya samas. You're doing samasas, right? Making compound words. So arupam is actually made of two words. There is a word called naya and rupam. So in naya, ya is it, you know about it, that which is dropped. And nakar is also it, so a remains. Na is so it becomes a rupam. And the word a is generally used in the sense of negation. right? In English also many times the word a is added to give opposite meaning, negation. But in Sanskrit it is not always that it means negation. There are 6 different meanings of this word Naya Samas. So one of them is Sadrishya. Sadrishya means similar. So if you say Abrahmanam, so Abrahmana means not a Brahmana but similar to a Brahmana. So that would mean a Kshatriya or a Vaishya because they are also Dvijas. So if it says Abrahamanam Anaya, bring an Abrahamana. So it does not mean that you can bring anybody, but somebody who is not Brahmana but similar to Brahmana. So that is meaning of there. Abrahmana does not simply mean not Brahmana, or it can also mean that which is against Brahmana. Right? Like you have Jnana and Ajnana. So Jnana means knowledge and opposite of knowledge is ignorance. Ajnana is ignorance. So here it means opposite. Virodha. So similarly the word arupam can mean formless, form and formless opposite. Abhava, tat sadrishyam tad abhavasya. So it here means lack of that no form. But if you can also have sadrisya means there is a form but not the form which is known. So then it would mean a different type of form but a different type. So therefore he says Athva arupam ityadikam prakrita rupadi nishedha nishtham. Alternatively, words like arupa or formless can be understood as denying the material nature of his form, etc. So the form which are known to us, those are material forms. So when it is said that God is arupa, it does not mean that he is formless, it means that he does not have a material form. Okay? Is it clear? So you have to remember this. Many times the word or the negation is not just in the sense of negation. It can also mean small. Like example is given Anudara Kanya. So Udara means belly and Anudara is Naya Samas, it means no belly, means girl without belly. So now that is not possible. How is that girl who has no belly? So it means thin waist. So here the Naya is used not in the sense of negation, not in the sense of similar, but in the sense of less, alpat. So for that reason he says that prakrita rupadi nishedha nishtam. So rupa, the form for us, in our experience, form is always material form. So because God does not have a material form, so instead of saying that he has a spiritual form, you can say he is arupa. Means he has a form but not like the form which is known to us. Because when we say spiritual form, then becomes problem, what is a spiritual form? Because we only know material form. We only have experience of material form, spiritual form we do not know. So it's a arupa. So it's just saying that he has a form but he does not have a material form. What is that form? We don't know. But denying the material form. Not denying the form as such. So arupa is not a denial of form per se, but denial of a particular type of form. That is material. Ateva pani padadya sanyutam iti sanyog sambandha eva parihiyate na tu samvaya sambandha. So then it is said that he is not endowed with hands and legs. Pani means hand and pada is feet. So pani padadi asanyutam. So yuta means endowed with joint. It comes from this same yuja. So asanyutam means that it's not linked with hand and feet. So that does not mean that he does not have hand and feet. That is one meaning, that he is not linked with hand and feet means he doesn't have hand and feet. But now Jiva Goswami says this again, same, the word, this Naya Samas does not mean negation, but similar. So the link can be in two ways. One is Sanyoga Sambandha and the other is Samvaya Sambandha. Now recollect your Nyaya. So Sanyoga Sambandha is like when you say pot on the ground, right? Bhutale Ghatam, famous example. So that is a Sanyoga Sambandha, right? It is a contact. When you say pot on the ground, then pot on the ground is by contact, by Sanyoga Sambandha. The relationship is of contact, right? And contact is temporary. It can be, you can remove it. But then there is a Samvaya Sambandha, the relation of inherence. Like when you say blue lotus. So the blueness in the lotus is not by contact. It's not that you can pick up the blueness and leave the lotus. That's not possible. So that is Samvaya Sambandha. So Samvaya Sambandha is a permanent relationship, right? Sanyoga Sambandha is a temporary relationship. So permanent relationship means that these two things are always together. The blueness and the lotus are always together. And if you separate them, then the object is destroyed. So when it is said that Pani Padadiya Sanyutam, so Jiva Goswami says, therefore it should be known that the phrase Pani Padadiya Sanyutam denies only the relationship of contact, Sanyog Sambandha, and not the relation of inherence, Samvaya Sambandha. Okay? So that means his hand and feet are not like our hand and feet. Your hand can be removed and put another one, right? It can be operated. So Krishna's hand is Krishna himself, because he is non-different from his hand. You cannot remove his hand and feet from him, because these are not two separate things. So that is the meaning. So one meaning he gave was Arupam Pani Padadi Sanyutam, is that Brahman who has no form, no hands, no legs, like that. And of course if he has no form, then what is the point in saying that he has no hands and legs? How can he have hands and legs if he has no form? So this is another reason why he is explaining it like this. Because if Arupam actually means formless, then the statement that he has no hands and legs becomes redundant. Right? And just remember that in Shastra, this is the assumption, that in Shastra there is nothing which is redundant. Nothing. Why? Because Shastra is the word of Apta Purusha. Whether you take it as word of God, or you take the word of a sage like Vyasa. So Apta Purusha is that who are beyond any bhranti, who are beyond any confusion. Their knowledge is perfect, so they don't make use of unnecessary words, redundant things, because they are perfect. They speak with a sense. So therefore you cannot say that Pani Padadiya Sanyutam is redundant, because this is used by a sage. Parashara is speaking it, and Vyasa is writing the Purana. So there must be a sense behind it. Why after saying that he is formless, it is said that he has no hands and legs? So that's why Jiva Goswami is giving an alternative explanation. Because in the previous explanation, this will become redundant. You get this point? So therefore he gives this explanation that here Pani Padadaya Sanyutam, he has a form, but now in his form the hands and legs are not by contact, but by inherence. So that's the meaning. Then comes Vibhum, verse number 6, the first word, Vibhum Sarvagatam Nityam Bhuti Yonim Akarnam. So he says, Vibhum Miti Sarva Vaibhav Yuktam. Vibhu indicates that Absolute is endowed with all opulence. So word Vibhu has different meaning. Many times the word Vibhu is translated as all pervading. This is how we translated it when it was used in relationship with Brahman. Then Vibhu means who is everywhere. But Vibhu can also mean opulence, that who has opulence. So that's how he said. Sarva Vaibhava Yuktam. Then Sarvagatam. Sarvagatam means aparichinnam. You remember this word parichinna now? Remember the word parichinna from Nyaya? No? You don't remember? Parichinna you don't remember? So this word was used hundreds of times in the Nyaya class. Avachinna. Okay, sorry, avachinna. So the same parichinna means same as avachinna. You remember avachinna and avachedaka? Same, parichinna, parichedaka means same. So now aparichinna means which is not avachinna. So avachinna was limit. Remember? That something is limiting something, we say this is avachinna by this. So aparichinna means that it is not limited by anything. So therefore he says Sarvagata literally means all pervading, means without divisions or separation. Because limitation means you make divisions. Right? You have this space and then there is a space in this room. So the space, the big space becomes avachinna by these walls. Limited. So he is not limited by anything. Aparichinna. So Nyaya, if you have basic knowledge of Nyaya, then you can understand the deeper meaning of these slokas, why these types of words are used. Then he says avyapyam. Everybody knows this? No. Vyapi. Vyapi iti sarva vyapakam. Means he pervades everything. There is nothing outside him. So Vyapi means all pervading. So all pervading means that everything is contained in him. And then Avyapi. Avyapyam. Avyapyam iti anyena vyaptum ashakyam. So and avyapya means that nothing else can pervade it. Because to pervade something else, it has to be equal or more. Remember that? If A has to pervade B, then either A has to be at least of the size of B or more. At least it has to be that much to pervade it. It can be more, no problem, but at least that much. But see, we know that there is nothing which is equal to him or more than him. There is nothing, there is no other reality which is equal to God or Bhagavān or more than Bhagavān. So therefore he is avyapyam. So vyapi, avyapyam, sandhi becomes vyapya, vyapyam. Right? It looks like that vyapya is coming twice. Vyapya, vyapyam. Right? But it's actually it is vyapi, avyapyam. So in Sanskrit you can make poetry like this by putting, if you put the avyapi first and vyapi second, it doesn't sound so nice. Then it will become avyapya vyapi. Not so good. Vyapya vyapyam. So that is avyapyam. Tadetad brahma swarupam bhagavad shabdena vachyam natu lakshyam. So he says that this Brahma Swarupa is Bhagavad Shabdena Vachyam Natu Lakshyam. So you remember we spoke in Alankar Kaustubha that there are 3 types of meanings of word. Anyone remembers? 3 types?
Abhida, Lakshana or...
Help him. Vyanjana. popular one. We're talking about Vyanjana. So there are three types of meanings of the words. Abhidha, which is also called Vachyartha, the primary meaning. And the second one is Lakshana, the Lakshyartha. And the third is called Vyanjana or Vyangyartha. Right? So now there is a difference between Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. So he says that if you read the original verse, verse number 8 on page 18. Verse number 8 which says Tadetat Bhagavad Vachyam. Everybody got that? No? You got? Yes? So it says Tadetat Bhagavad Vachyam Swarupam Paramātmana. Right? So he's saying that, you see how each word is important. He says it is Bhagavad Vachya, not Bhagavad Lakshya. Because when you say Lakshya, then it is something else. So when you say the word Ganga, so what is the Vachya Artha of Ganga?
River.
The river Ganga. Right? There is a word Ganga and then there is an object Ganga. Right? So the word is Ganga and the object is that thing where water is flowing, that ditch or whatever, low area and the water is flowing, that is Ganga, that is the object. So that is the Vachya Artha of the word Ganga. That is the primary meaning of the word Ganga, that river. And what was the Lakshya Artha of the word Ganga? You remember? No, what was the Lakshya Artha? The bank. When Gangayam Ghosha, when we said that, hamlet in the river Ganga, so then the river Ganga cannot have hamlet, so we said Ganga here means the bank of Ganga. So you see, what he is saying now here is that the word Etad Bhagavad Vachyam, that this is the meaning of the word Bhagwan, not a Lakshya of Bhagwan. Because when you say Lakshya of Bhagwan, then there is a little bit problem. Why there is a problem? Because if it is a Lakshyartha, if it is the indicated meaning, then primary meaning will be something else. Then you have to search what is the primary meaning. Because Ganga has its primary meaning and then it has its indicated meaning. So if you say this is the indicated meaning, then you have to search for a primary meaning. So what will be the primary meaning? Then we don't know what is the primary meaning of the word Bhagwan. So this is the type of explanation which Advaitvadis give. In Advaitvad there is a problem. Advaitvad of Sankaracharya, when they say the word Brahman, because they use the word Brahman, right? Now what does the word Brahman actually mean? So if the word Brahman means Satchidananda and all these things, so now the problem will come that now it is not Advaitvad. You have the word Brahman and you have the object Brahman. Right? So it is not really Advaita. Because word, and if the word is there and the object is there, then the knowledge is there. Then the knower is there. Right? There has to be somebody who knows that the word Brahman means this. So therefore they say that no, the word Brahman actually does not have the Vachyartha as Brahman, it is Lakshyartha. So this is their technique of avoiding. That's why Jiva Goswami, he says that Tadetat Brahma Swarupam Bhagavad Shabdena Vachyam Natu Lakshyam. That this is actually the direct meaning. It is the direct meaning of the word Bhagwan, which means that Bhagwan the word Bhagavan and the object which is being described, they're real. They are existing just like the river Ganga and the word Ganga are existing. It is not something imagination. That it is not Vachyartha, it is a Lakshyartha, and Lakshyartha you imagine. So to establish this, so he says that the nature of Brahman as explained here is directly expressed by the word Bhagavan and not simply indicated. To establish this, the verse says the word Bhagavan is the direct expression or vachaka of the supreme truth. Just as the word Ganga is the direct expression of specific river and not an indicator like the word Tata or river bank. Okay? Tadeva nirdharayati Bhagavat shabdoyam tasya nadi visheshasya Ganga sabdavad vachaka eva natu Tata sabdavad lakshaka. Okay? So therefore the word Bhagavan is the direct expression of Bhagavan. It's the Vachaka. Evam sati akshar samyan nirbhurayat iti niruktamatam ashritya rudhimapi ashritya bhagadi sabdanam arthamaha sambharta iti. So in the Nirukta is the Vedic dictionary. It is the dictionary of Vedic words which are used in the Vedas. Written by Yaska, it is one of the 6 Vedangas. So there the principle is that one should determine a word's meaning on the basis of the etymology derived from its constituent syllables. So you take each syllable and then give meaning to that. So similarly, Bhagavan, he takes the word Bhaga, Va, and then he gives that Bharta Sambharta iti. So this is another way of explaining. Sambharta iti tatha bharta, bhakaro artha dvayanvita. So bhakara, what does bhakara means? Akara, chakara, takara, lakara, takara, you know this. So bhakara means bha. Simple. So you have to know this. Otherwise, if you don't know and you go into the dictionary and look for bhakara, you will not find anything there. So kara is added. So in Harinama Vrtavakran they add Rama. Arama, Karama, Charama, Tarama, Tarama, Parama, like that. So here it is Kara, so Bhakara. So he said that the word Bha or Bhakara has 2 meanings, Sambharta and Bharta. So this is what he says here now. So Sambharta means the nourisher of his devotees, Bharta the supporter or maintainer. Neta means one who grants the fruit of devotion, or in other words, prema. So this is Ga. Ga has, I think, 3 meanings. Neta, Gameta and Shrashta, Gakara Arthas Tatha Muni. So these are the 3 meanings. Gameta, one who carries the devotee to his abode. And Shrashta, one who makes divine qualities manifest in his devotees. So these are the 3 meanings of Ga. Sambharta Svabhaktanam Poshaka, Bharta Dharaka Sthapaka, Neta Svabhakti Falasya Premna Prapaka, Gamaita Svalok Prapaka, Shrashta Svabhaktisu Tadgun Rupena, Gunasya Udgamaita, Jagat Poskatvadikam tu Tasya Paramprayevana to Shakshat Gayam. So he says, usually he has given the meaning of the word Shrashta differently here. So he says the Shrashta is usually translated as creator, right? So Shrashta, one who makes divine qualities manifest in his devotee. So he says, why are you giving up the popular meaning of creation and not taking and giving this meaning. Bhagavan is called Srashta because he creates the universe. So he says it should be known that actions such as maintenance of the cosmos are not performed by him directly but indirectly. So this Srashta and then Sthiti, creation, maintenance, destruction, he says these things are not done by him directly. Bhagavan does not do them. It is Paramātmā who is doing. Remember that there is Bhagavan, and then when it comes to doing things with the material universes, then he becomes Paramātmā. And then Paramātmā also does not come in direct contact with the material energy, then he is Shiva. So remember this level, this gradation. So that's why he says that the Srashta cannot be applied to Bhagavan, because here the definition is being given of Bhagavan and not of Paramātmā. So Bhagavan is not really Srashta in the popular sense. So therefore he gives a different meaning to Srashta, that one who, because Bhagavan deals only with his devotees. Bhagavan does not deal with non-devotees. Non-devotees come under the purview of Paramātmā. So therefore Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham sarvabhutesu nama dveshost na priya. He says, I am equal to all. I don't have hate for anybody. Nobody is dear to me. So that is the Paramātmā aspect. That is not the Bhagavan aspect. That is the Paramātmā aspect of Krishna. Because Krishna has Paramātmā in him. So as Paramātmā, he is neutral to everybody. Whatever you are doing, do it. And you are responsible for your karma. He has nothing to do with it. So no need to blame God, that if God is there, why is there so much suffering? It has nothing to do with it. It's your creation. You have messed it up. Right? But in the next line, he speaks like Bhagavan. He says, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, maite tesu chapyam. But those who worship me with devotion, I am in them, they are in me. So that is the Bhagavan part. So Bhagavan is directly dealing with the devotees, but not with non-devotees. With non-devotees, he deals as Paramātmā. And as Paramātmā, he sleeps in the ocean. That's why he is sleeping. He doesn't care. Because you don't want, right? You don't want him to interfere. That's why you are in the material world. In the material world, you want to enjoy, you want to go to party, you don't want God there. If you go to party and you are thinking of God, you cannot enjoy the party. So God says, okay, I am relaxing, you do what you like to do. But just remember one thing, you are responsible. If you drink, you are responsible for that, not me. So that is Paramātmā. That is God. So what people are talking about God is actually Paramātmā, not Bhagavan. None of these religions, they know about Bhagavan. Outside Hinduism, none of the religions actually know what is Bhagavan. Whatever they are talking is only Paramātmā. And that Paramātmā also one aspect of it. Paramātmā also they don't understand fully. So here you get the complete knowledge. And because they don't have this understanding, therefore they have many questions which cannot be answered by them. When people raise those questions and you ask them, they satisfactorily cannot be answered. They give some answers, but not very satisfactorily. And that's why these people cannot understand Krishna. Because Krishna is not God. They try to understand him as God. He is not God, he is Bhagavan. So he does something which is beyond God. And they don't know even God properly, but to speak of something beyond God. So they say, oh, what is he is marrying, he is stealing butter, he is doing this. They will never understand. So that's why a lot of criticism on Hinduism. Because Hinduism is talking sometimes about Paramātmā, sometimes about Brahman, sometimes about Bhagavan. And sometimes talking about the Devas in this material world. It talks at so many different levels. So then people become confused and they say this is useless. These people, then they think we are confused. Yeah. Look, we are simple. That's how they are preaching, the Christians and the Muslims. They talk about Hinduism. That, look, we have one book, one God. Simple surrender to Him and you don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes you're talking about Shiva, sometimes Devi, sometimes Vishnu, Rama, Krishna. All this big army of gods.
Polytheism.
Hmm?
People think it's polytheism.
Yeah, polytheistic. So there's this famous Muslim guy, Zakir Naik. If you have heard Dr. Zakir Naik, he's saying that there is no other religion superior to Islam. He challenges. He says because Muhammad is the last Messiah. So whatever Jesus had, whatever Judaism has, whatever he says, everything is there in. And then he says that what Kalki is predicted is him. So whatever is there in Hinduism is there. And then he quotes some things from Hindu scriptures. And Hindu scriptures have all types of things, so you can quote. So he says, Natasya pratima asti. In the Vedas, this is famous. In the Vedas, it said that there is no pratima, form of God. But you don't understand the meaning behind it. Study Nyaya, then you will know what it means. And then all these Hindus says, really, in the Vedas it is said like that. And he says, see, Quran says this. So there is nothing beyond Quran. So from Puran to Quran. And it's very popular. It's coming on 56 channels. Okay. So this is clear now that it should be known that actions such as maintenance of the cosmos are not performed by him directly, but indirectly. So all this maintenance, etc. are done by Paramātmā, not by Bhagavan. Then he comes to this verse, Aishwaryasya Samagrasya. This is a famous verse from Vishnu Purana. So Aishwaryam Sarvashikaritvam. Aishwarya is Bhagavan's feature by which everything exists under his control. Samagrasya iti sarvatra anvita. The qualifier samagrasya is to be applied to all of them. Aishwaryasya samagrasya, viryasya samagrasya, like that. Yasya samagrasya, shriya samagrasya, gyan vairagyo samagrayo, shannam bhagiting, like that you have to apply. So it qualifies. The qualifier samagrasya in their totality is to be applied to all 6 of these attributes. The other 5 being virya, inconceivable influence, as found in gems and mantras. So this is some power which cannot be explained, basically. That's what it means. Like, those of you know astrology, then they give some gems according to your birth chart, that this can help you to gain health or counteract some bad influence. So how does a gem do this? Gem is just a piece of stone. So this is what he says, this is called virya. Or mantra. You can also cure disease by mantra. So how can mantra do this? Or placebo effect. How can that work? So this is also inconceivable. How to explain this? You can explain that you take medicine and disease is cured, but you give the guy just some plain injection and say that yes, I'll put this injection and you'll be cured, and he gets cured. So how does this work? So this is virya. This is inconceivable power. So yasha vang mane sariranam sadgunyakhyati. Then comes the yasha or fame due to all the beneficent qualities of speech, mind and body. So means you have all good qualities related with speech, mind and body. And Śrī, so word Śrī is sometimes translated as beauty, but it's translating it as wealth. So Śrī is also, because Śrī is goddess Lakshmi. So generally the word Śrī means opulence, wealth. Śrī Śrī 108 Śrī. You have heard of this? No? You have not heard Śrī Śrī? So Śrī, there is Śrī Śrī, but in India there is a tradition that the names of great people, you say Śrī Śrī, 108 Śrī. You have not seen this? Ashtotar Shat, you might hear this. Ashtotar Shat means, Ashta means 8 and Shat means 100. 100 more, 8 more than 100 is 108. So Ashtotar Shat, 108 Śrī. So it is Śrī, which means Śrī 108 times. That I am not just saying Śrī so and so, like you say Śrī, Bharatji, Śrī Lakshmanaji. So you are only using the word Śrī once, but you want to say 108 times, so it will be too much to say Śrī, 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 Śrī. And you have to keep track with a jap mala. So you say 108 Śrī, means I am repeating Śrī 108 times. So somebody used it for chanting. He chanted Mahamantra once, and then he says 108. So it's done 108 times, so he got one round done. So this is Śrī, and then Śrī means wealth, so with different types of wealth. There are 9 types of wealth described, right? Then just like there are 8 types of siddhis, right? The popular saying is Ashta Siddhi Nav Nidhi. 8 types of siddhi and 9 types of nidhis, treasures.
What are the 9 nidhis?
Figure it out. Go to Google. So all this, gold and silver and diamond and gems, these are the nidhis. Now these days, of course, you will have bitcoins. You have to have more variety of nidhis. We have dollars, euros and bitcoins also. So nine types is old story. And jnanam sarvagyatvam. So jnana, samagrasya, complete knowledge means omniscient. So Bhagavan has all knowledge because he is everything. So he knows. So that's why if you know him, you know everything. Tasmin vigyate sarvam vigyatam bhavati. And vairagyam prapancha vastu anashakti. So vairagya means absence of attachment to material objects, material products and phenomena. So it does not mean giving up objects, but not being attached to them. It's very important point to be noted. It says prapancha vastu anasaktihi. So not attachment. And ingana sangya, designation. Sannam bhaga iti ingana. So ingana means the name, that these 6 things are called bhaga. And then you apply mat upon this, so then it becomes Bhagavan. So we'll do that tomorrow. Yes.
I didn't understand, like now we were talking about the six qualities, and then it says that the qualifier is
Samagrasya.
samagrasya, and can you explain this qualifier again? So this is applied for all of this.
Means complete. Means Aishwarya means controlling potency, power to control.
Yeah.
So everybody has some controlling power. You have controlling power, he has, everyone has. Control something. But Samagra means complete, means he is the complete controller. He is the ultimate controller. Any other question? Yes.
यही समग्र से का हिंदी में लिखा है संस्कृत में सर्वतांत्रव इति. सर्वतांत्रव इति.
सर्वतांत्रव. तांत्रव?
यही लिखा है सर्वत्रान्व.
सर्वत्र अन्वित.
नहीं, अन्वित नहीं.
अन्वित हो गया.
सर्वत्रान्विति.
हाँ हाँ वही है, सब जगह अन्वय होगा इसका. It is to be applied to all of them. सर्वत्र अन्वेति. Anveti is a verb. Sarvatra, everywhere. Anveti means it is to be applied. Anu iti. I dhatu hai na, eti. Eti ita anti. To go. Means it goes everywhere, it is applied in everything. Yes.
I was just wondering, you mentioned that later Vadis say that Bhagavan is the Lakshya.
No, Brahman.
Brahman.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, what is their Vachya?
Vachya is material. Brahman. You know, they make two divisions of Brahman. Upper and lower. Parabrahman and Apar Brahman. So they say that Apar Brahman is that which is Vachya of the word Brahman. But that Parabrahman is not Vachya, it is Lakshya, because you can just point to that. So your Advaita remains intact. So at that level you don't use the word. The word Brahman is not used at the level of Parabrahman. It is used only at the level of Apara Brahman. So all this Athato Brahma Jigyasa, this Brahma Jigyasa is also of Para and Apara. How can you do Jigyasa about Parabrahman?
Yeah.
Because that is beyond. So, but you make Lakshya to that.
It's very clever.
Yes. Very clever. Yeah, if you study Advaitavad, you will know that it is very, very ingenious work. They use a lot of logic to explain it, and it is not easy to get out of their clutches. So very interestingly, they define that how Brahman, because the word Brahman is there, so how can they avoid it? But if they use the word Brahman at the level of Parabrahman, then there is a word and there is a meaning. There is a Vachya and Vachaka, then there is a duality. So then the Advaitavad is not, established. So then they say that this is only Lakshya and not Vachaka. So Lakshya is alright. Okay. So I'll stop a few minutes back. How are you?